This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Brett Baer in Washington. We are exactly 3 weeks out from a midterm election that will decide which party controls the U.S. Senate and, by extension, affect the balance of power here in Washington. As you take a look at the breakdown of the chamber, 55-45 it stands right now. 2 independents caucus with the Democrats. If you take a look at the scenarios today, if the election was held today, based on the average of polls, and remember, some of these are very close, could go either way, but we're going to give it to the leader as of today. Republicans would pick up in Alaska, in Arkansas, in Colorado, as well as in Iowa, in South Dakota, in West Virginia, and in Montana. That would be 52-48. Now, look at what we didn't do. Kansas, that's because it has moved to a tie between the independent and the incumbent, Pat Roberts. You'll give it the tie to the incumbent, it would stay Republican. Now, another way to look at this is the 12 closest races and just give them check marks as of the average of polls today. So as of today, the Democrats would hold on to these races. Louisiana would likely go to a runoff December 6th, but right now we'll give it to the Democrat. Iowa would go Republican, all of these Republican, and again the tie going to the incumbent. You would have to pick up 6 checks. Here you see 7. As of today, the Republicans would control the U.S. Senate. We have Fox team coverage. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron is in Lexington, Kentucky tonight, epicenter of one of the hardest fought and highest profile Senate battles. Mike Emanuel wraps up several of the most competitive contests, and Britt Hume with some perspective on where the race stands right now. We begin tonight in the Bluegrass State.
After a week of criticism for refusing to say if she voted for the president, Democratic Kentucky U.S. Senate candidate Allison Lundergan Grimes stubbornly stood her ground.
There's no reluctancy. This is a matter of principle. Our Constitution grants here in Kentucky the constitutional right for privacy at the ballot box.
My opponent has spent most of her time trying to deceive everybody about her own views. She's been an active partisan Democrat all along. There's also no sacred right to not announce how we vote.
3-term GOP incumbent Mitch McConnell, the Senate Minority Leader, has a higher unfavorable rating in his home state than favorable. The other flashpoint in the debate was Kentucky's lost coal jobs. When Grimes tried to blame McConnell, he pounced.
Senator McConnell fails to see he has a role in all of the jobs that have been lost here in the state.
Secretary Grimes, if I may, Congress didn't pass what the president's doing. We defeated it when your party control both the House and the Senate by large majorities.
It's been the year's most expensive race, with as much as $100 million expect to have been spent. The Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee plans no more ads until Election Day to focus instead on the ground game, while conservative third-party groups pummel Grimes.
Grimes backed Obama's re-election after he declared war on Kentucky coal. Allison Grimes, a vote for Obama, a vote against coal.
Grimes trails by 3 points in the Real Clear Politics average of recent polls and reached back to the 80s to attack McConnell on immigration.
Mitch is at the heart of everything that's wrong in Washington, from hypocrisy to greed to gridlock.
She went out of her way to call herself a Clinton Democrat. Asked to explain the difference between an Obama Democrat, she gave Obamonomics a backhand.
It's growing the middle class the right way, and that's by making sure that we are building from the foundation up.
McConnell scoffed at Grimes' distinction between Clinton and Obama and previewed a GOP talking point for 2016.
There's not a dime's worth of difference between a Clinton Democrat and an Obama Democrat.
Grimes came armed with several attack lines.
Whether you call him Senator Gridlock, Senator No-Show, or Senator Shut Down, the only person who Washington has been working for is Senator McConnell.
Hillary Clinton comes to campaign for Grimes in Kentucky tomorrow night, drawing further attention to the distance that both Grimes and Clinton have put between themselves and the president. Brett?
Carl Cameron in Kentucky. Carl, thank you. Debates and nasty ads are not unique to Kentucky, as you can imagine right now. There are plenty to go around. Chief Congressional Correspondent Mike Emanuel tonight on some other hotly contested races.
A tree fell on Greg Abbott. He sued and got millions.
The Texas governor's race has gotten nasty, with Democrat Wendy Davis refusing to back down on her empty wheelchair ad against Republican Greg Abbott, who uses a wheelchair.
She doesn't have anything to run on herself because she knows that she is connected with Barack Obama's big government agenda of raising taxes and imposing heavy-handed regulations that will crush the jobs in Texas.
The Houston Chronicle's editorial board has called the ad a low blow. Davis defended the ad today and even went further.
In his entire public service career, he has been working to kick that ladder down and deny that same opportunity for justice to other people. And we felt it was a very fair and important ad to point that out.
When Tom Cotton voted against it, he turned his back on Arkansas women.
The Arkansas Senate race has also gotten harsh, with the DSCC running this ad against Republican Congressman Tom Cotton on the issue of domestic violence. Cotton went on offense in yesterday's debate against Democratic incumbent Mark Pryor, noting the senator votes with the president's agenda 93% of the time.
Barack Obama has said his policies are on the ballot, every single one of them. I agree with that too. In Arkansas, those policies are called Mark Pryor.
Pryor fired back at the freshman congressman for running for the Senate before he's passed legislation in the House.
Congressman Cotton has allowed his ambition to get the best of him. He will do anything, say anything, vote however he can so that he can get their money to win this race.
In the Virginia Senate race, Republican challenger Ed Gillespie went after Democratic incumbent Mark Warner for voting with the president's agenda 97% of the time and said he is no centrist. Gillespie also blasted Warner for discussing a possible judicial appointment for the daughter of a Democratic state senator who was about to quit, giving the GOP the majority.
I did not offer her a job, nor would I offer her any kind of position.
This is very serious in terms of the federal bench has a big impact in our lives, and we need to make sure that qualified people are put on the bench.
Warner's getting a boost from former Republican Senator John Warner, who in a new ad praises the Democrat for reaching across the aisle and putting Virginia first, a very rare bit of bipartisanship in the final stretch of this campaign. Brett?
All right, Mike, thanks. Let's step back.